Some stories just stick with you. They get under your skin and make you question everything. This is one of those stories. Back in 2003, the Shea family thought they'd found their dream home, a beautiful 18th century house in Arkansas. But that dream quickly curdled into a full-blown nightmare. They thought they were buying a piece of history, but they were actually walking into a fight for their lives against a force that had laid claim to the house long before they ever set foot inside. Ben Shea's eyes snapped open. It was just after 7 a.m. after a long night shift. The exhausted nurse was desperate for a few hours of sleep. But then he heard it again, the unmistakable sound of his 8-month-old son, Jackson, crying over the baby monitor. The only problem? Jackson wasn't home. The babysitter had picked him up for the day. Ben froze, listening to phantom cries echo from his son's empty room. And that was just the beginning. The Shea family had moved to rural Lamar, Arkansas, to find a historic, happy home to raise their kids. They had no idea they'd just moved into a battleground that wouldn't just haunt them, but would actively try to tear their family apart. Section 1, The Dream House. It all started in October 2003. Jamie and Ben Shea, with their 3 kids, Tori, Bridger, and baby Jackson, found what seemed like the perfect place. It was a spacious, historic colonial house with 4 fireplaces and a huge yard, all for a price that felt too good to be true. But there were red flags from the very beginning. One of the beautiful old fireplaces was boarded up, with a pentagram spray painted across the boards. They figured it was just teenage vandalism and, excited about their new life, signed the papers. The feeling of not being welcome started soon after they moved in. One night, while lying in bed, Jamie and Ben heard a loud, aggressive pounding on the wall right above their heads. It sounded like a fist hammering on the wall from inside the upstairs hallway. They lay awake for a long time that night, feeling for the first time that they weren't alone in the house, and whatever was with them wasn't happy they were there. Section 2, The Escalation. It didn't take long for things to get worse. A lot worse. The family started hearing footsteps on the stairs when no one was there, doors would slam shut on their own, and, most bizarrely, they'd hear the sound of a ball bouncing down the hallway at 2 in the morning. Sleep became a luxury, and the constant exhaustion made everyone irritable and on edge. Their 5-year-old son, Bridger, started waking up in the middle of the night, terrified. He told his parents he could hear a sea of people talking in his room. Then came the chilling confirmation they couldn't ignore. While shopping at a local Walmart, a woman working as a door greeter approached Jamie. She recognized her and asked where she was living. When Jamie told her, the woman's face changed. She said she grew up in that very house and then stated, matter-of-factly, "Yeah, it's haunted." She told Jamie a story passed down in her family. Back in the 1800s, a little boy had tragically fallen to his death from a second-story window, the window in what was now Bridger's bedroom. Any denial the Sheas had been holding onto was shattered. And that's when the haunting took a much darker turn. One day, Bridger fell into a strange trance, laughing in a deep, mocking voice that was not his. When he snapped out of it, he had no memory of it at all. This wasn't just a ghost story anymore. It felt like a malevolent force was now targeting their children. Section 3, The Investigation and AMP. Climax. Desperate for answers, Jamie wrote an article about their experience for the local paper. It caught the eye of the Central Arkansas Society for Paranormal Research, or CASPR. When the investigators and psychics arrived, they immediately felt something was wrong. They described the energy in the house not as a lost human spirit, but as something powerful and deeply territorial. During the investigation, they pulled out a spirit board. The entity they made contact with gave them a name, Seth. When they asked when it was alive, the planchette slowly spelled out a single, terrifying word, never. The investigators came to a horrifying conclusion. The house wasn't just haunted, it was occupied by an inhuman, possibly demonic, entity that believed the property belonged to it. When the team tried to perform a spiritual cleansing, the entity's anger exploded. The investigators reported feeling a heavy, physical force pushing against them, and the air in the house grew icy and oppressive. The family's story eventually got them on the Discovery Channel series, A Haunting, but no amount of publicity could save them. Faced with an aggressive, non-human entity that they stood no chance of fighting, the Shea family made the only choice they had left. They abandoned their dream home and ran for their lives. CTA and AMP. Conclusion. The Shea family got out. They survived, but you don't just walk away from that kind of psychological and emotional trauma unchanged. The house in Lamar, Arkansas, is still standing today, a silent monument to the terror that took place inside its walls. It leaves you with one haunting question: what was really in that house? Would you be brave enough to spend a single night there to find out? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want to explore more incredible true stories like this one, be sure to subscribe.